small, picturesque town nestled between rolling hills and vibrant green fields, there existed a quaint little bookstore named Timeless Tales. This bookstore, with its wooden shelves stacked high with stories from around the world, was more than just a place for buying books. It was a haven for dreamers, lovers, and wanderers seeking solace between pages. Among its frequent visitors was a young woman named Alara. Alara had an unassuming beauty, with chestnut brown curls that framed her porcelain face and eyes that sparkled like starlight. She had always been drawn to stories of epic love, tales of passion, sacrifice, and destiny. But despite her yearning for a love story of her own, her life remained rooted in the ordinary. She worked as a historian, piecing together fragments of the past, and spent her days surrounded by dusty artifacts and ancient manuscripts. One rainy afternoon, Alara found herself in her favorite corner of Timeless Tales. She was engrossed in an old book with a faded leather cover when the chime of the shop's bell announced a new customer. Looking up, she saw a man stepping inside, shaking droplets of rain from his coat. He was tall, with a lean frame and an air of quiet confidence. His dark hair was slightly disheveled, and his eyes, a deep, mesmerizing shade of blue, seemed to carry the weight of countless stories. He browsed the shelves with an intensity that intrigued Alara. Eventually, he selected a book and approached the counter. As he passed by her table, their eyes met briefly, and Alara felt an inexplicable pull, as though she had seen those eyes before in a dream. The man returned the next day, and the day after that. Each time, he would browse for hours before purchasing a book. Alara's curiosity grew with every encounter. Finally, one evening, she gathered the courage to speak to him. "Excuse me," she said, her voice steady despite the flutter in her chest. "I couldn't help but notice you have a penchant for historical novels. Are you a historian, by any chance?" He looked up from the book he was holding, a small smile playing on his lips. In a manner of speaking, he replied, "I'm a researcher. And you?" "A historian," she said, smiling back. "I specialize in uncovering stories from the past." "Then we have something in common," he said, extending his hand. "I'm Kylam." "Alara," she replied, shaking his hand. From that moment, their conversations became a daily ritual. They discussed history, literature, and philosophy, often losing track of time as they delved into deep, thought-provoking dialogues. Despite their growing connection, Kylam remained enigmatic. He spoke little about his personal life, and Alara sensed he was guarding a secret. One evening, as they walked through the cobblestone streets of the town, Alara's curiosity got the better of her. "Kylam, you've told me so much about the books you love and the ideas you hold dear, but you've never mentioned where you're from or what brought you here. Why the mystery?" He stopped walking and looked at her, his expression a mix of vulnerability and hesitation. "Alara, there are things about me that you wouldn't believe even if I told you. Try me," she said, her eyes searching his for answers. After a long pause, he sighed. "Very well. But promise me you'll keep an open mind." She nodded, her heart pounding. "I'm not from this time," he began. "I was born in the year 1743. I've lived many lives, seen centuries pass, and watched the world evolve. For reasons I cannot fully explain, I am unbound by the constraints of time." Alara stared at him, her mind racing. His words were impossible, and yet, something about the sincerity in his voice and the depth in his eyes made her want to believe him. "If that's true," she said finally, "then why are you here? In this time, in this town?" "Because of you," he said simply. "I've spent lifetimes searching for something, someone. And when I saw you, I knew my search was over." Alara's breath caught. She wanted to dismiss his story as a fabrication, but deep down, she felt the truth in his words. "Prove it," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Kylam reached into his coat pocket and retrieved a small, intricately carved locket. He opened it to reveal a miniature portrait of a woman who looked strikingly like Alara. "This was painted in 1768, he said. "Her name was Elise. She was my first love, and she looked just like you. When she died, I vowed to find her again. And now, after centuries, here you are." Tears welled in Alara's eyes as she stared at the portrait. The resemblance was uncanny. Her logical mind struggled to reconcile what she was hearing, but her heart told her it was true. Over the weeks that followed, Kylam shared more of his story. He spoke of the joy and pain of living through eras long past, of the people he had loved and lost, and of the loneliness that came with his timeless existence. Alara listened, captivated by his tales and moved by the depth of his emotions. Their bond deepened, and Alara found herself falling for him. But the weight of his secret loomed over them, a constant reminder of the chasm between their worlds. "What happens now?" she asked one evening as they sat by the fireplace in her home. "I don't know," Kylam admitted. "I've never felt this way before. For the first time in centuries, I'm uncertain about the future." Alara reached for his hand. "Then let's face it together. Whatever comes, we'll figure it out." For a time, they were happy. They shared quiet moments, explored the town, and dreamed of a future together. But the reality of Kylam's timelessness could not be ignored. One day, as they strolled through a sunlit meadow, Kylam stopped and turned to Alara, his expression somber. "Alara, there's something you need to know," he said. "I can't stay here forever. Time has a way of pulling me back, forcing me to move on. I don't know when it will happen, but I fear the day is coming soon." Her heart sank. "Isn't there a way to stop it? To stay?" "I've tried everything," he said, his voice heavy with regret. "But time is relentless. It doesn't let me rest." Tears streamed down Alara's face as she clung to him. "Then we'll make the most of the time we have." As the days turned into weeks, they lived each moment to the fullest. They laughed, loved, and created memories that would transcend time. But the inevitable day arrived when Kylam felt the pull of time beckoning him away. On their final night together, beneath a sky blanketed with stars, Kylam held Alara close. "You have given me more than I ever thought possible," he said. "No matter where time takes me, I will carry you in my heart. And I will carry you in mine," she whispered, her voice breaking. With a final, lingering kiss, Kylam disappeared into the night, leaving Alara alone with a heart full of love and a soul forever changed. Though she never saw him again, Alara felt his presence in every book she read, every star-filled sky, and every whisper of the wind. She wrote their story, preserving it for future generations, and lived her life with the courage and passion he had inspired in her. In the end, their love proved that some connections are eternal, transcending the boundaries of time and space. And though their time together was fleeting, it was enough to fill an eternity.